Yo, what's up guys, Neon Blitz here, back with another Dragon Ball Gekishin Squadra video. I know I'm recording this video a bit early, but I'm about to go full into Season 7 1 year anniversary countdown mode. So before we do that, I figured now is the perfect time to give my review on Season 6 of Dragon Ball Gekishin Squadra. If you haven't seen any of my other reviews for this, or my other reviews of other seasons, I like to break these up into 3 different sections. My positives, everything good that the season did. My neutrals, everything that I kind of feel iffy about with this season, or even not that strongly about. And my negatives and things I felt like this season did wrong. If you guys are excited for Season 7 1 year anniversary, which the reviews are going to be very shortly, please leave a like, comment, maybe consider subscribing. It would help me out a lot, and I would truly appreciate it. I would love to hit 1,000 before the end of the year. But with that being said, let's get to my full review of Season 6 of Dragon Ball Gekishin Squadra. Of course, starting with our positives. And what better way to start than with the character picks themselves of Beerus, Goku Black, and Jiren. I feel like for the large majority of the player base and Dragon Ball fandom, these are way more quote exciting picks than Season 5 with Final Form Frieza, Kid Goku, and Bulma. Even though I do love all those 3 characters and they definitely deserve to be in the game, I think at least this season this was more exciting for character picks for the large majority of plans. And even then, I think it's a fun contrast with Season 5, where we kind of had the first characters ever introduced in Dragon Ball, as well as the most iconic villain of Dragon Ball. And then to follow up with that, the next season is the most recent antagonists and villains of Dragon Ball with Beerus, Goku Black, Jiren. And we don't have the absolute most recent antagonists of Goma, but I think this is definitely a fair compliment. I mean, these are all Dragon Ball super villains and antagonists, and I think these are way more exciting. And we finally get Goku Black added into the game, which this is a character that has been needed to be in the game forever now. It makes sense he was going to be a post-launch character, do not get me wrong, but this is a character that I've personally been waiting for ages, and I'm sure a bunch of players and the fan base have also been waiting forever. So glad to see him finally here. And speaking of the characters, one thing I'm going to also start giving Dragon Ball Gekishin Squadra, we saw this in Season 5, besides Bulma, all the character releases of Beerus, Goku Black, and Jiren have been strong but not broken characters, which is something I greatly appreciate for. Back during Season 2, Season 3, Season 4, it felt like every character release was just broken. Super Vegito, broken. Bardock, broken. Kefla, broken. God Goku, strong and then got overly buffed to be broken. God Vegeta, broken. Kid Buu, broken. You could even extend it to Season 4, Super Saiyan 4 Vegeta, broken. Ultimate Gohan, broken. Broly, surprisingly balanced. Like, there's been so many character releases in Squadra's history that have just been absolutely broken, so they actually have a genuine full season of characters that are not broken but incredibly strong is so much healthier for the game, because you can't sell a weak character because it's just going to bring out the excitement levels for the game and the character themselves dramatically. I mean, we saw this with Topo during Season 1. So to have a season full of characters that are surprisingly strong yet balanced is a great thing. And even then, we also got to talk about the kit design. I mean, who could have ever thought base Goku Black would be added in the game and wouldn't even just be a transforming Goku Black to Super Saiyan Rose, but to also make Goku Black a technical character? I think it just showcases one of Squadra's greatest strengths. It's not its absolute greatest strength of just its character kit design, where in Season 5, we had the absolute insanity that Bulma is a tank, and now we have base Goku Black as a technical, where they can make characters and mold them into any kind of character archetype class that they want, while still making a lot of sense and still being tremendously fun to play. I mean, Goku Black's one of my favorite characters to absolutely play in this game, and even though myself included, when I saw his base kit on paper, it seemed like the absolutely most broken thing ever, but in practice, it's actually kind of balanced, mostly because the skill 3 is not as strong as you would think it would be. There's just ways for players to get out of it, and I definitely do think they nailed it out of the park with all 3 characters. We'll talk about Beerus a bit more specifically later, but I definitely just do think these are all very strong character picks. The fact that they're all surprisingly balanced yet strong is great, and I'm sure seeing all these characters finally be added in this game made a lot of the fans happy. And one of the additions for that, before Beerus was even revealed, we actually got a hint for the Squadra talk, where they gave us this guy kicking this purple soccer ball or purple sphere, which obviously is supposed to reference Beerus. I personally like it when the Dragon Ball mobile games, especially Dokkan and Legends, drop hints like this, though I will agree that Squadra probably needs to be more cryptic with their hints, because this is pretty obviously Beerus. And this was like a day or two before the Squadra talk. So we knew going into it that it was Beerus, and we'll talk about that Squadra talk later. But I love that they did this hints only for Beerus. They didn't do this for Goku Black and Jiren, unfortunately. I would have loved to have gotten hints for those two characters. It makes it interesting if they're going to do it for the Season 7 1-year anniversary or beyond. But I like that they at least attempted to do a hint. I will praise Squadra for that. Next, this is not going to impact the player base directly, but I love that this was only for Beerus, weirdly enough. I don't think content creators in the Squadra content creator program got access to Goku Black or Jiren early. But for Beerus in Season 6 specifically, they actually allowed creators in the content creator program to access and play Beerus early and make content over. I think that's tremendously cool. And, you know, there's been a lot of discussion about the Squadra content creator program over the year. But it really feels like with Season 6, they dramatically improved the Squadra content creator program. You know, they obviously let players play Beerus early. They're still provided like all the new character intros, animations, kits, character spotlights, and all that beforehand that they've been doing since the initial launch of the game. But then they're also providing with much more information. You know, if you've been watching around, creators have now access to the win rates of the newest characters, and they make dedicated videos of that. And I think providing that information is awesome. They've also been seeing a bunch more of these content creators just have more benefits. Like, they're even providing the Twitch drops for the Squadra Blast World Championship for the Goku Black Twitch drop skin, which we'll get to. The fact that they're improving the content creator program for Squadra, especially as someone that would love to be in it, is an amazing thing. And the fact that even for the general audience of Dragon Ball Gekishin Squadra, just having players be able to test out Beerus beforehand, I think it's just a great thing for the thing. And I hope they continue doing this for the future. Next, of course, with every season, we got our two sets of Twitch shops. We of course have the beginning of the season 6 Twitch shop with the newest character where we get a exclusive skin for them. And then we kind of get the part 2 Twitch shops, which is just like an exclusive icon and just more goodies and rewards. Always glad that they keep doing this, and I hope they keep doing this because it's just free skins, free capsules, free Zenny, free extra goodies. Why this would never be a negative unless for some reason in the future they get rid of certain stuff like the skins and icons and Zenny. I'm always going to applaud Squadra for doing this and providing the Twitch drops. Next, in the Squadra talk, they actually gave us a brand new boss of Yakon, replacing Ribrianne, which we know Ribrianne has been in the game since the very first beta of this game of Project Multi, so to actually see her gone, replaced by a new boss, it was exciting. And I do really like Yakon as a concept of a boss. He provides a lot. He's a very unique boss compared to everything, where Jocko just kind of does whatever, except he has invincibility frames when he like jumps and moves around in his ship. Or Nappa, who just kind of sits there with the Cyberman. The fact that Yakon has this like magic shield that blocks him or blocks energy attacks from the outside. The fact that he can absorb energy attacks, but if he gets overstuffed, he takes a large chunk of damage. The fact that he actually does a pretty good amount of damage with his swipes, and it's surprisingly tanky unless you have two nuking damage character ults. I like Yakon's addition in the game. I also think it was a pretty good nerf for God Goku, who has been running rampant since his buffs during Season 4, even though unfortunately he still needs to get nerfed more, which we'll talk about later. I do really like Yakon's addition in this game, and I hope we get to see more unique bosses later on. You know, so far we replaced the Android 16 with Jackie Chun, we've replaced Ribrianne with Yakon. Now we just gotta see if they eventually replace Nappa and Jocko. And to say, these bosses are also providing new buffs for when you clear him, where Yakon, he gives you extra HP, which is always nice. I'm wondering what other extra buffs they could do, because Jackie Chan provides step efficiency up, so you get your vanishing step a lot quicker. I'm wondering what the new buffs they could potentially provide in these bosses, but I'm glad that we finally got a new boss in Squadra, considering I believe it was Season 4 with the 1-year anniversary that we even got Jackie Chun. So it's been a little bit since we got a new boss, and I'm glad that we got a new one here. Next, I'm going to talk about the Divine Draws, where while it's not the craziest, and you could definitely put this in neutral or maybe even negative depending how you feel about Burst Up. The fact that they got rid of Squeaky Hammer Wall, even though it wasn't really a problem during Season 5, I think it was just no one wanted to see Squeaky Hammer anymore, even though it was incredibly nerfed. And at least for me, I've been personally fine with Burst Up. I know a lot of players don't really like it or just feel neutral about it. I don't even feel anything that crazy about it, but I always take a Divine Draw down, like, okay, whatever. Over like something like a Cloudy Cloak, from like, oh, this is gonna be so annoying, or a Squeaky Hammer Wall, where I'm like, oh, this is gonna be annoying. Before the nerfs, of course, we still have a skill 2 or skill modifier Divine Draw, which I'm guessing we're obviously gonna have. And then there's Spirited Away, which Again, can be quite annoying, but considering the state of the meta, you know, people are going to push and rat anyway, so it's not the absolute worst. And we'll talk about the ratting split pushing later. But again, I feel perfectly fine with these Divine Draws, and I'm perfectly fine with it. So that's why it's a positive that we have a season where the Divine Draws don't really feel too bad. You know, I'm not going to this game being like, oh my god, we got burst up, no, and we're rolling in my eyes when I see, you know, Spirited Away. I'm just like, okay, whatever. Which I'll definitely take as a positive. Now, oh, I did not mean to have this open. Of course, we have the launch of Season 6, you know, with Beerus' launch, and we have a bunch of new skins. We have, you know, Beerus' Infinite skin, we have Bulma's and 18 skins, and then we have the rest of the Sparking Black skin sets here, fully finished for every single character in the game. And these were like 20 new skins coming out that I really appreciate. And we even got, of course, Beerus' Battle Pass skin, this like Radiant Green skin, and yeah, just the fact that they finally finished out the rest of the Radiant or Sparking Black skins for every character, including Cooler, was awesome. The fact that every skin, or every character now at least has a Infinite skin, I think is awesome. Even though it is all part of the same set and all the character poses are kind of the same, where they're like, their left hand is on their hip. They can maybe have more unique posing, and I hope when the next time they do like a big Infinite skin set like this, they might make it more unique. And even then, they even added Goku Black and Jiren to this, so genuinely every character in the game has an Infinite skin, which I think is awesome to see. Next, and this is going to be a kind of a large point to why I think this might potentially be the best season in the game. There is generally every week something to do or something to look forward to. With Beerus, drop the Bulma's Capsule Bonanza, either dropped with Beerus or like the day after, you know, for more free stuff or free missions to do. Then, of course, they brought out the Squadra 72 Hours, which is probably the best thing to come out of Season 5, so I'm glad this is something that's seemingly going to just be a permanent addition for Gekishin Squadra going forward. I mean, this is just one of the best things they could do. Just win 5 battles, you get 5 SG capsules for every weekend. You're getting like 40 SG capsules every season, just based on the Squadra 72 Hours, and who knows how many you're going to get from the Battle Pass, from stuff like Bulma's Capsule Bonanza or other in-game events. You're going to be getting a bunch more SG capsules, and I get why, considering they have gacha skins or more. They're bringing back old cosmetics, so we obviously need more SG capsules. But the fact that they brought this event back, I think is just awesome. But the next week following that, we had the summer special pass, where we got, you know, new home screen, we got stamps, and we got a free Kid Goku skin. And that same week, we also got the fan-made God Goku skin, even though this was a little bit delayed. You know, it was weird that they said this would come out in June and it just didn't. I'm glad that we still eventually got this custom God Goku skin. I do like how it looks, even though I believe the person who created the skin, like, we don't officially know. It wasn't officially said by Gekishin Squadra who won the skin contest, and even the seemingly perceived winner didn't, or said this doesn't completely match with their skin. I do really like the skin line here, and the skin how it looks. Then the week following that, we of course had Goku Black's release. Week after that, we had Mr. Satan's Energy Jamboree and the Gekishin Cup 3. Week following that, we had the 10 million download celebration, where we got Bardock for free, and we got this special 10 million pass where we got this cool Super Vegeta home screen. Week following that, and I believe even the same week, we got the World Championship event breakdown, where every character in the game got a special hat skin to celebrate the Squadra Blast World Championships. Literally 40 free skins, considering both Beerus, Goku Black, and Jiren all got these skins sent as well. So that's literally 40 free skins just for battling 40 times. And then we also got the Squadra Pick'ems, where we got to predict who we believe Squadra is going to win the Squadra Blast World Championships. I do want to make a dedicated video on this eventually when the predictions come out, but I do believe, even though I wasn't completely right about everything about the tournament, I do believe my predictions of Ram Goats winning did come true. And of course, we had Jiren coming out. Week following that, we also had the Squadra Blast World Championships, which again, you know, just another thing to keep looking forward to every week. Another thing to keep looking for every week. We also had the survey. And then now this week, I'm recording this before the weekly reset, so there may be something big coming for this weekly reset, but at least for right now, we have the announcement of the Squadra Talk Season 7, talking about the first year anniversary and the year-end major updates coming at the end of 2026. So generally, there's been something to do every single week, or something to look forward to every single week, which is something that is unheard of for Gekishin Squadra. There's been a lot of times where it just feels like there's nothing to do for this season or for this week, and it's just like, oh, okay, you know, makes sense. You know, we're kind of in the drought period between character release number 2 and character release number 3, or A brand new character just came out last week, so there's not going to be nothing new this week. This is generally the first season where it's felt like every week there's been something new to do or look forward to, and I think it's helped the season feel significantly better. You know, it generally feels like, wait, we're already at the end of season 6? What the hell? The season just started in my eyes. But no, because there's been something new to do every week, it's just made the season so much better for that. And just because of that, I probably think this is one of the best seasons of Gekishin Squadra, if not the absolute best. But I'll have to keep going for this review and fully give my opinions of it. Next, I think another thing that has helped this season feel incredible is they updated the battle pass. You know, during season 5 they changed the amount of missions you get, but the missions were just way too hard, way too specific. It gave too little XP that honestly just felt miserable to grind through, and probably helped contribute to why season 5 felt one of the worst seasons. I wouldn't say the absolute worst, but it felt like one of the worst seasons in the game. And why that the season actually felt better was because they not only increased the amount of battle pass points you got per mission, they also dramatically simplified what these missions were. You know, before it was like move or forcibly move an enemy while they were doing a max action burst 4 times using 17 hit Bardock, something ridiculously specific like that. Now they're much more broad and easier to do, like deal a total of 120,000 damage, KO a boss using technical, summon a helper 10 times using technical. They've become much more easier, simplified, and players were completing their battle pass like week 1. That's how easy this was, and I hope they just keep the battle pass like this, because it just makes the whole season feel so much better, just being able to fully complete the battle pass. And once you do complete, you can obviously prestige and get these action rewards at the end and just infinitely loop this. I believe during season 5 I only prestige like once, but I believe now, even though I've been playing the season a bit less, just because you know, another game, Marvel Telecom, taking all my time, as well as just being generally busy, I still prestige like 9 or 10 times. And this is something that I can only imagine if you've been playing this game nonstop, you're gonna be like 70 prestige or something absolutely ridiculous. So I think having all these new events and content to do every week or look forward to, as well as the battle pass just being so much significantly easier to complete, has made the season just flow a lot smoother overall. Now I gotta just find my place here and all this. We're talking about the Squadra Blast World Championships. Now this is obviously something carried over from season 5, where they announced this, where season 5 held the first, second, and third stages, but this specifically for season 6 was the World Championships, where the winners of the NA region, EU region, the South America region, and Japan region, or EU, I think I said all the regions there, all went to Japan to play the game locally and compete to see who's not only the best team at Gekishin Squadra, but seemingly who has the best region. And once again, shout out Ramgoats, the EU team, for winning. This is just an awesome thing for a squadron to do. The fact that they had a offline tournament finals to play to determine the best team, something we've never seen before in Gekishin Squadra, and it was just an incredibly cool thing to see. Even though there is some, you know, I would say some issues production wise, you know, I don't think this should have been like 7.5 hours, and there's a lot of downtime between matches. Still, the fact that this events and tournament happened in the first place and it all culminated in this hype finals, it's an amazing thing for the game, and I hope they do eventually carry these over. I mean, considering it's called the Squadra Blast World Championship 2036, I'd imagine we're going to get a Squadra Blast World Championship 2027, so that's going to be tremendously exciting. And I hope they repeat everything with the Squadra Blah or the Squadra Pick'ems, you know, brand new event to get the hat skins again. And I just hope they keep doing this, as I think this is tremendously awesome for the game. And of course, they already announced the Squadra Talk Season 7 for the 1-year anniversary and the year-end updates coming at the end of 2026. I mean, this is actually listed as a live stream, not at a premiere, so I'm hoping this is going to be quite significant. And I'm not going to talk about this too much because obviously it hasn't happened yet. And also, this is something more related or safe for Season 7 1-year anniversary. But genuinely, I do believe, because the amount of content that was fed over this season, keep in mind, even if there was like a kind of slower week, like I would say this current weekly reset here was a bit slower, where it pretty much was just a Squadra Blast. You still have the Squadra 72 hours every weekend to do, or even to still catch up like with these Squadra hat skins, or even just stuff like the special pass 10 million downloads. There's always just something to do, which I think dramatically helped this season feel a lot better, as well as the battle pass. Now we have to get to my neutrals, things that I don't feel the greatest about or don't feel the worst about this season, just not things that I just generally felt neutral about. And one, it's gonna be the character reveals. I have made a dedicated video talking about this back when Jiren was revealed, but I don't think this can be a positive in any way. But it's also not truly a negative. It all depends on your perspective on things. If you want to wear during every other season, all the Squadra Talk reveal the 3 new characters coming in that season just right then and there. So let's just say for season 5, when the season 5 Squadra Talk happened, you would know right away that we were getting Final Form Frieza, Kid Goku, and Bulma, as well as knowing what the order would be. So we knew it would be Frieza first, Kid Goku second, and Bulma last. With this Squadra Talk, they told us that they're going to be splitting up the reviews from now on, and we will only be getting one review at the Squadra Talk, which ended up being Beerus. Now, the main reason I say this is neutral is because for a season like Season 5, I feel like if the reviews were split up, if that season's character batch would have been received better. Not to say that it would have helped it, completely 180 its perspective, but I think the main issue people have with these what the main problem that Squadron wanted to fix with these batch reveals was if they weren't excited for any of the characters revealed for the season, they would just peace out for 2 months. Like, oh, I don't really care for Final Form Frieza, Kid Goku, and Bulma. Alright, I'm out for 2 months. And that's bad. So if they fixed it by making you reveal every 2 weeks, a player might be like, okay, well, I'm not hyped for Beerus, but I'll keep playing because I hope the next character revealed after Beerus is a character I'm looking forward to. And then the time comes, Goku Black is revealed, and they're like, oh, dope. I'm gonna keep playing. I'm super excited for Goku Black. And they're like, okay, I'm playing, I'm having fun. I'm super excited for Goku Black. He's so awesome. And then, their character reveals popping up, and they're like, oh, okay. Ooh, I wonder who it is. Oh, it's Jiren? Oh, that's actually pretty cool. I'll keep playing. Instead of, let's just say at the end of the season, or if they did this reveal at the beginning of the season, even though it would have dramatically helped this specific Squadra Talk. And we'll talk about this specific Squadra Talk as well. I just want to talk about the split reveals. Where, yes, it would have been way more exciting to be known that it was going to be Beerus, Goku Black, and Jiren right then and there. But it helps the season flow a lot better if they split up their reveals. But it also is just dramatically worse for free-to-play players. Back then, we'll use the Season 5 example. If you're a dedicated player, but you weren't excited for Final Form Frieza, Kid Goku, and Bulma, you were safe for 2 months. You're like, oh, okay, I don't care for any of these characters. I'm not going to buy them with Dragon Gems, so you can continue saving for the next season. And if you didn't care for the characters, you probably aren't going to summon for the Legendary Cosmetics, so you can save your SG capsules. Now, let's just say you were excited, let's just say Beerus and Goku Black were your number 1 and 2 favorite characters. And the most characters that you wanted badly in Dragon Ball Gekishin Squadra. You go all in from Beerus, you're super excited. And then next is Goku Black. Well, damn, you just use all your resources buying and summoning for Beerus, that now you have nothing for Goku Black. Where if they do all the characters at once, you could have properly managed your resources and be like, okay, I'm gonna buy Beerus, but I'm not gonna go too crazy on his cosmetics because I want to have some to summon for Goku Black. It's a very just kind of classic example of hype and excitement versus free-to-play friendliness, and that's why I'm putting it at neutral here. At least for me, as someone that pretty much only buys the new characters just so I can make content on them for the channel. Obviously, you could say I would buy this as a content creator because theoretically, a brand new character reveal is going to give me more views and all that, blah, blah, blah. But it sucks for capsules, too, because I've spent all my capsules on Goku Black because I've been saving since the game came out. But now I'm like, damn. But if, let's just say, if character number 3 was Metal Cooler instead of Jiren, I would have been screwed no matter what. Because Metal Cooler's, I'm a big, massive Cooler fan. I would have loved to have known Cooler was coming, so I could have properly managed my SG capsules and not blown on Goku Black. So it still impacts me as even as someone that buys those characters. Now I still have to be careful with my SG capsules. Now, obviously, if you're someone that's going to be putting money into the game regardless and just getting all the Legend Cosmetics, it doesn't matter to you no matter what. But it's just worse for free-to-play players or very low spenders. But it is more exciting and hype-inducing for a larger Dragon Ball audience. So that's why I'm putting it at neutral. And speaking of this Squadra Talk, I'm putting this Squadra Talk at neutral. This Squadra Talk had a lot going against it, I will say, because a lot of players, myself included, were not happy with Season 5, just the state of the meta, the lack of content, the character picks. Even though I was excited for Bulma, Kid Goku, and Frieza, it wasn't the most exciting for a lot of players. And just You know, we had gotten the introduction of the gacha skins during Season 5, which had dramatically pissed a lot of people rightfully off. So this Squadra Attack had a lot going against it, and we all were like, okay, well, we know Beerus is character number 1. Okay, I wonder who the next 2 characters are going to be. But then they just dropped that, oh, we're only revealing 1 character here, and then you just knew it was Beerus, and then that was pretty much it for the Squadron talk, except for the fact that they announced a second set of gacha skins, and then talked about the Squadron Blast World Championships, which is nothing against the Squadron talk, or the Squadron Blast World Championships, but I think it was just that deal of high expectation going into this due to the lackluster Season 5, and knowing pretty much who the first character revealed is, into, you know, the only character being revealed here, into another set of gacha skins that rightfully pissed everyone off. It was just a lot going against the Squadron talk, and the vibes were not great coming out of the Squadron talk and going into it, which dramatically sucked. You can put this Squadron talk in a negative if you want to. I'm not going to debate that. Yeah, if you feel that way, I'll be like, yeah, I agree. I could see that. But I'm just putting it neutral here just to go with the reveals. And next, it's going to be this Squadra developer alert that they dropped at the beginning of the season, where pretty much they explained big updates that they're planning, or they had announced previously during the half-year anniversary that would come in 6 months, which pretty much means Season 7 1-year anniversary, were now being delayed till the end of 2026. Main reason I'm putting this at neutral, because I can fully put this at negative, because I see this as a bad thing, is because they actually talk about some of the things they plan to improve, like the Star Battle System and the Star Collection, which I'm not too sure how the battle system is going to change, if they're going to either have an option to bring back the old camera, or just dramatically change how some other function of the game. Or the Star Collection, which they said they'd be removing during Season 2 back in, like, December. But then here, some brand new information. We got expanding customization options, updating seasonal mechanics like the Battle Pass, and improving the visuals. That's this pretty much sentence is the only reason this is specifically in the neutral. The fact that this seemingly huge update that they hyped up during the half-year anniversary was delayed to the end of the year 2026, maybe for Season 8, sucks. And hell, depending on how the season can be formatted, it could even be Season 9, depending on how things are formatted. I think it's going to be Season 8, but depending on how things look, it could be Season 9. The 1-year anniversary would have been like the perfect and best time to have all these new features, as it's going to be when the game's going to have probably the most eyes on it, considering anniversaries for mobile games are some of its like biggest times besides the launch or any exciting periods it has. So to have, you know, all the eyes kind of look back on Squad to be like, ooh, that game's celebrating its 1-year anniversary. I wonder what's going on there. Oh, they have a hype character. Ooh, I might want to check it out. And then you get hit with, you know, a brand new character unlocks, and that's way more streamlined and way easier to unlock characters, way more easier to understand, on top of, ooh, new character customizations. Ooh, the Battle Pass actually has good rewards now. Ooh, they updated the visuals a lot. I like how it looks. Would have been like a slam dunk to get players in. Now the fact that it's delayed to the end of 2026, I do think it's not a great thing. Not that I don't have faith in Squadra. I have immense faith in Squadra. I just think, and the reason they even had to say this out, and I'm sure they are upset and disappointed that they couldn't get it for the 1-year anniversary. It just sucks because it's seemingly now what was initially going to be a huge part of the 1-year anniversary update is now being pushed back. Sucks. And this is something that's not really specifically against Season 6, but since it was announced during Season 6, I think it's just something worth mentioning. And I do hope when these event updates eventually come, that they are amazing and are completely worth the wait. And I have complete faith in Gekishin Squadra, like I said before. It just sucks to see that an update promised to us time frame would have to be delayed. That's it. And I'm telling, and like I was saying, this whole sentence is the only reason why this is neutral, as it gave us brand new information. Next, I'm actually going to put the Squadra Blast World Championship Twitch drops. Now, I do think this is an amazing thing that they did, that they gave us a Twitch drops skin for the Squadra Blast World Championships to incentivize players to actually go watch it, even though I do think it would, if players are really interested in seeing the highest tier caliber of Squadra, they were watching anyways. I think this definitely helps the more casual fan, or just players that maybe were initially interested, because not everyone's going to be interested in competitive Squadra. When I was playing League of Legends, I did not really care for competitive League of Legends. But if they said, hey, this Twitch shop here, get a, I don't know, a free Renekton skin or something, right? Well, hell yeah, I'm gonna watch it. The main reason this is here is because, one, the visual collection is kind of nothing. Visual collections are things in game that you kind of just see like a title screen in game, but you can't even set it as the title screen. It's just bragging rights essentially to have, which is fine, but as a Twitch shop, And the Goku Black skin is obviously the big reward, but having to watch 5 hours of the Squadra Blast, I think it's a little ridiculous. I get it. They want to maximize the viewer, like, duration and keep as much viewers as they can for investors. But 5 hours is a little ridiculous. And if the main reason that the Squadra Blast World Championships was 7.5 hours because of this Twitch drop skin sucks. And another thing that I've been seeing a lot of my comments, that players who watched the stream who didn't maybe even claim the Twitch shop skin in time could not claim the skin anymore, even though they had everything properly set up and they got the drop. They cut off the claim period super fast, which I don't think is entirely great to do. I think if considering you can only watch the stream during those 7.5 hours and that was it, if you grinded the hours to get the Twitch drop, I think you should have had a bit more time to actually claim the drop and get the Goku Black skin, because so far no Twitch drop skin has ever come back, and I think this Goku Black Twitch drop skin is probably going to be the rarest Twitch drop skin in the game, just because it was only available for one night only at a super late time, considering the Squadron Blast World Championships started for me around like 9 p.m. and ended at like 3:30, 4 in the morning, and that's at East Coast. I know someone in my comments has saying they're EU, and the Squadron Blast World Championship started at 2 in the morning for them. So this is probably going to be a rare skin just based on how artificially scarce it is, just because of how limited the time frame was, and even the claiming period for it was super small, which I don't really like. But I do like the fact that they had a Twitch shop skin for the World Championships, which is why it's a neutral. I just wish more players were able to get the Twitch shop skin and even just to claim it even if they did watch the viewers, or watch the tournament, because I do think that does suck a lot that you could watch the hours, but if you didn't claim the Twitch shop skin in time, and it's very little amount of time, that unfortunately you just lost the opportunity for the skin, which sucks. But now, unfortunately, with every season, we're gonna have to get to the negatives, and there's some just general negatives that I like to do every season. First are the bugs. You know, there's been bugs every season, and specifically with these bugs, I wanted to highlight Beerus, because, you know, I was talking earlier that Beerus, Jiren, and Goku Black were all surprisingly balanced yet strong. However, during, like, I would say the first half, or maybe even slightly more than the first half of the season, Beerus was just super buggy and just didn't feel as smooth as he should have been a lot of times, because Beerus' whole kit is he throws his orb on people, and if he hits enemies while they have the orb on them, he'll get a refresh of the ability to hit them, so he can directly use his skill 1 twice on the target, skill 2 twice, and he obviously likes to weave his rush attacks in between his abilities to fully maximize damage, though sometimes you don't really want to do that. You just want to just skill 3, skill 2, skill 2, someone to absolutely burst them down. There'd be times where you would do that, and either the rush attack would consume the mark and not give you a reset on your abilities, or you would hit someone with the ability, or they would have the skill 3 mark on them, and you just would not get the reset on them. His ult just functions pretty weirdly at times. There'd be times where his abilities just straight up miss when they shouldn't have. He was really buggy when he came out. Seemingly now he has been dramatically fixed, considering Beerus was played during the Squadron Blast World Championships, but it just sucks that a brigade character release was released that buggy, and I believe even near its release, he had like a 39% win rate because of how buggy he was, which is tremendously awful. So I'm glad they were able to at least fix Beerus, but the fact that he even came out in such a buggy state is just unacceptable. And speaking of bugs, even though I didn't make a dedicated video talking about it, there's been a lot of reports of players crashing, that they can't even get into the game, that they can't even launch the game because it just crashes the whole time for them. I fortunately did not suffer any of this, and it was hard to really pinpoint what was causing the issue and what, you know, different tiers of, or what system the players are coming on, especially as someone that doesn't have a Twitter, that it was just hard to fully grasp the whole situation. But the fact that there was a lot of reports on crashes sucks. We can't be at the 1-year anniversary of the game still suffering immense crashes and bugs. That's something that we have to fix, and I hope for the future that they can fix this and iron things out, because it's unacceptable if players that have been playing the games for hours suddenly can't play the game at all just because it just crashes on boot up, startup, and no matter what they try to do, even like reinstalling or playing on a different device, it just keeps crashing. So that's why we have this picture of crash up here. And next, general thing, bots. I'm gonna complain about this every season, even though it's someone that doesn't deal with it. The fact that there's bots in ranked is annoying. The fact that bots will be in your games till minimum A rank is dumb and stupid, and it's one of the things that's been plaguing Gekishin Squadra ever since its first initial beta project multi, where your teammates and enemies will just be bots. Sure, you might get a power trip going like 20-0 and dominating a game with bots, but it just feels so unfun to play with, where your quote teammates are just not defending Gods of Destruction, or an enemy would go in a bush and the bot just completely just runs away as the enemy is no longer in the vision. And it's just way more annoying to deal with. And even though it's someone that, for me, I get out of B rank pretty fast and get into A ranks, so I don't deal with the bots. Maybe I deal with 1 to 2 matches with bots depending on the beginning of the season. And as someone that has been predominantly S rank on every role, yeah, it's never dealt really with bots ever since like season 1 or season 2. I'd say definitely season 2 or 3. The fact that bots are ranked are stupid and they should be removed. Now, another negative, I teased this earlier, more gacha skins. One of the biggest controversies during season 5 was the introduction of gacha skins. The Dragon Ball Xenoverse 2 collaboration with the Xeno Trunks skins and the God Ultra Supervillain God Vegeta skin. Skins that were previously teased and hyped up during the Dragon Ball Games Hour were finally added in the game, and there's a lot of excitement for it. And then it's revealed that they were locked behind gacha with absolutely terrible rates. So to see these kind of bring back the exact same format for these summer skins, these 2 skins that were available for free during the betas and not just shop skins, really sucked. And the fact that their rates are 0.25, keep in mind a brand new Legends character, Legends Rarity, Legends Limited character, and Dragon Ball Legends is 0.5%, and a brand new Ultra is like 0.3, I think. So it has worse rates than a PvP gacha. And these skins have unique animations, which I don't entirely hate. But one thing I do hate is that they have infinite EX skins, and the only way to get these infinite EX skins is to pull these exclusive gacha skins twice. So if you want the infinite EX skin for, let's just say, this Aloha shirt Super Saiyan Goku, you have to first pull the Super Saiyan Goku Aloha shirt by itself, and then you have to pull the skin again to get the infinite EX skin. And depending on how bad a person's looks can be, they can only be pulling, let's just say, the Postboy outfit Piccolo skin when, let's just say, they want the Aloha shirt Goku. All of this paired up with the fact that there is no pity on these banners. So you could just infinitely throw in money on these banners and just get hit with nothing. And they try to do this quote-unquote pity, where if you do 4 multis on these banners, you'll get these you essentially get 4 multis. So it's buy 4 multis, get 1 free. Get the stuff, like, just give me pity. I don't care if I have to spend like 120 capsules or something ridiculous. Just give me pity so I can get these skins. I mean, there should be pity on the normal legendary animations anyways. Just throw in pity in the game. You can keep these buy 4 get 1 free multis in the game. I think it will help out these infinite EX skins that are the gacha skins. But the fact that we're summoning for such low rates on purely cosmetics with no pity and kind of a bad, you could say, reimbursement to buy 4 multis, get 1 free, that's not even guaranteed to get you anything. It's just incredibly bad, and also just a bad precedent that we have our second set of gacha skins in the game. Considering we haven't had any more gacha skins, hopefully, if they were planning to have a gacha skin during the Season 7 1-year anniversary, they're re-evaluating the banners, and they might increase the rates to 0.5, or add pity, or just get rid of gacha skins entirely. Just something, because I hate to see these gacha skins in the game. And this is going to be a very personal complaint, one that it's honestly not even fair to Season 6, but it's only going to throw up. I do not like how they handle these split character reveals. Like I was saying before, these split character reveals I have neutral on, but the fact that they just drop them on Twitter, they drop an initial tweet that says, hey, new character reveal at 11 p.m. EST on a Saturday or Sunday. And then 11 p.m. Eastern comes on Saturday, Sunday, and they're like, all right, here's the Twitter video, new hero Goku Black. I do not like this. If you're going to split the character reveals, give each character their moment. Why am I going to this reveal already spoiled on who the character is? I get it. These are marketing tweets because they say if we get 5,000 likes and reposts on this post, everyone gets P6G capsules. This is clearly their marketing for the new character, so I get why they have to say the new hero there. But could we please get like YouTube premieres? You've been doing YouTube premieres for the Squadra talks. Can we get YouTube premieres for the new characters, like how Dragon Ball Legends gets Legends informations and stuff? I mean, the day I'm recording this was the day that they'd had the Legends Summerfest and Ultra Final Form Coolers revealed, which I'm definitely going to summon for. So, can in the future for these next character reveals that are not revealed in the Squadra talk, I don't know if we're going to be going back to the old format where every character of the season is going to be revealed in the Squadra talk, or if we're going to keep this new format where every character is revealed separately. If we're going to be sticking with this new format, could we please have these new character reveals be revealed through a YouTube premiere, so I'm not just there refreshing at the waiting for the right time, and then bam, I get instantly spoiled on who the new character is. I just would really appreciate it if we could do YouTube premieres. Now, the biggest thing holding back season 6, you know, if you saw there, we had so many positives, we have barely a few neutrals, but this is definitely the biggest negative section. It's gonna be the balancing of season 6, which is something, you know, balancing for Gekishin Squadra has not been the greatest, I will be honest, but I think this season carried over from season 5. It's definitely left a lot to be desired, and I think the biggest problem is, now, we've had some crazy characters, you know, the buffs to Krillin, where the energy mines can only be destroyed by energy attacks, and he became just the best, almost, if not the best, the absolute best, one of the best characters in the game just because of this. We saw the huge rise of Topo thanks to his healing, and, you know, we've had characters, seemingly bad characters, soar up the tier list, which I think is a great thing, but we've also seen characters just be completely ignored or just deal with slap on the wrists, like God Goku, which we'll have a dedicated section for, Bulma, who got another slap on the wrist. But the biggest thing I wanted to talk about with this specific patch notes, and I don't know why they're so scared to patch the game, if it's because of the Squadra Blast, if they just don't want to do that many character balancings, I'm not too sure. But the biggest thing for this season was this line here of damage of Gekishin Burst, including when canceling adjusted. Now, I'm not too sure if this is 100% correct, but I think this, which I believe they increased the amount of damage Gekishin Bursts do when canceled, plus, let me see if I can't find it here, plus the addition of Dende in the Battle Pass, has made Tank, and already rolled with Season 5, already annoying role thanks to the Rider Helper being no longer could be canceled, has made Bardock and Bulma just so unfun to go against. Bardock, even before Dende and these Gekishin Burst adjustments, was already like the second best tank, if not the best tank in the game. Bardock has only ever been the best or the second best tank in the game, period. He's only known greatness in Squadra, and if you wanted to learn tank, now obviously I've seen this before Season 7 when the anniversary was revealed, so don't shoot me for this. Learning how to play Bardock is probably one of the smartest things you could do, just because this character can do everything. So they gave him a dramatic buff with Dende, and then buffing the amount of chip damage or you can do with Gekishin Burst just makes Bardock and Bulma just dramatically so unfun. We'll talk about Bardock here, where Bardock can get in for free. He's going to be unkillable thanks to his passive and Dende. And while he's waiting for his cooldowns to get Gekishin Burst on, he's going to be rush attacking you, do surprisingly good damage. And then if he needs to get out, he can either ult you to push you away, or skill 3 out, just instantly get out. It makes Bardock just so unfun to play against. This character will just always keep pushing, and there's not much you can really do to punish him unless you're like a Frieza that can wall him off from a skill 3. And even then, he's just going to be so tanky, so unkillable thanks to Dende and his passive that the Bardock's been needing some major nerfs, and surprisingly, he has not gotten nerfed at all during this entire season, which is crazy. And then there's Bulma, where everything I've said about Bardock, while she's not as unkillable as Bardock, like Bardock's unkillable due to his passive. Bulma is unkillable thanks to her fuel gauge, where she can rat split push, get low, and then she'll just use her fuel, instantly get out, and there's not much you can do. Even if there is a Frieza to block her passage, she can just easily get around a wall. If she gets stunned, she can potentially Rider help her out, or she can use Dende to keep the healing. But the biggest thing is her skill 3, the capsule, which has essentially defined what characters are good. Goku Black, even though everyone agrees Goku Black is an amazing character, was not played too often during the Squadra Blast because of Bulma. And obviously other characters, of course. But I think the biggest factor is Bulma, where Goku Black cannot defend against Bulma. And the meta is kind of just becomes, if you know you're going to be going against a Bulma, you have to play characters whose abilities can hit Bulma through her capsule, her skill 3 house, so that she doesn't get full Gekishin burst. If not, anytime Bulma pushes with her skill 3 capsule house, she's getting a full Gekishin burst off. And then you try to kill her, she's either still pushing with Dende, or she gets out at it with Rider Helper, or just naturally with her field gauge. Unkillable, dramatically just the worst rat split pusher in the game's history, somehow taking the title from Hit. And the nerfs that they've been giving her don't change the fundamental issue with Bulma with her house capsule core. Like, I believe during season, when Goku Black came out, they nerfed how much health the house loses per second. Does not matter. The fact that she can place houses or capsule shelter on enemy gods of destruction still makes her the best tank in the game, or second best, depending on how you want to look at it with Bardock. And we even saw the newest character with Jiren, who everyone agrees Jiren's good, but he can't rat split push like Bardock or Bulma can, and can't defend against either of them really well. So he was not played a single time during the Squadra Blast. If they wanted to nerf Bulma, they have to make it to where her capsule shelter skill 3 cannot be placed on enemy gods of destruction. If they added that part to her passive, Bulma might just be annoying, because she still has great tools like her ultimate that has a very low cooldown, but it would dramatically just help the game state and just make Bulma so much easier to deal with. It's probably my most requested change that they do for Squadra, is make it so she can't place her capsule shelter skill 3 on enemy gods of destruction. And it sucks, because I do like the idea of Bulma being a tank in the car in this game, and I do think she has a fun and unique kit, especially thanks to field gauge. But just the way you play her is just so unfun to go against, and just so annoying that it's just draining to play. And same thing with Bardock, who needs to be nerfed. Both of these characters need to be nerfed significantly, considering they've both been good for like 2 whole seasons. And again, I don't know if it's because of the Squadra Blast they didn't want to nerf too many things, or what, but the balance patches during this season have not been the greatest. They've kind of, there's this, I'd say at the beginning of the season, the buffs to Toppo and Krillin were huge, and then they just shot Krillin out back by removing the big buff that he got of his skill 1 not being able to explode with energy attacks. Now it explosive energy attacks. Toppo got hit and nerfed a little bit, but he's still great. And then the season patch that came out with Jiren made 17 even better. Nerfed Hit a lot, which I don't know if Hit needed it, but sure, I always take it. And that's pretty much it. Not much changed. Again, I don't know if this is because of the Squadra Blast for season 5 and season 6 that they didn't want to dramatically change the game up, or maybe they're waiting for a big balance patch at the end of the season 7 winning anniversary. But they've been holding things back. And speaking of holding things back, why is God Goku still the best damage character in the game? Why? I've said this so many times in videos, so I'll repeat it again. God Goku, when he came out, was surprisingly pretty balanced. Had great burst, great range, but no mobility, long cooldown on his ult. Even though it was a great secure ult, he would pretty much have it just to secure one boss, and would not have his ult back for the second boss. And I know a lot of players, like on console and mobile, say he wasn't that strong, so they buffed him once. Okay, sure, that's fine. Then they buffed him twice, and this character just became absolutely busted. And even though they've tried nerfing him over and over during season 5 and now season 6, they just been slaps on the wrist. And with the Squadron pickups, everyone predicted he would be either the most banned or have the most kills, and it wasn't even close. And I'm pretty sure it ended up becoming true. This character needs to be nerfed even more. Even though Yakam was added and gained the magical shield, I think just specifically to hinder God Goku, it does not matter. This character is still insane and needs to be nerfed even more. It sucks because everything else about the season is so good. And a lot of the balance adjustments, like they somehow made Toppo good. A character I thought would never be good in Squadra. They somehow made him amazing. And there was just so much to do during this season. A lot of excitement, so much events, rewards, and goods, and all that. But because of the state of the meta, where tanks just Rat split push, and if you can't do that, you're an awful tank. You should not be played. The fact that they haven't significantly nerfed or done enough damage to nerf the real problems with, you know, chipping, ratting, split pushing, nerfing Bardock and Bulma, as well as not nerfing God Goku. I think people are going to look at the season not in fondness just because dealing with all these different mechanics and just meta-wise, even though everything else about the season is so good that it makes it so much frustrating to deal with. Now, how do I feel about Season 6? Now that I've done with this full review, and I've reviewed Season 2, I've reviewed Season 3, I've reviewed Season 4, I've reviewed Season 5, and now I've reviewed Season 6. What do I think about Season 6? Thinking back to it, even though, yes, ratting, split pushing, chipping is so annoying and characters need to be nerfed and all that, I still want to say this is the best season of Dragon Ball Gekishin Squadra. That may be controversial, but I generally do believe this is the best season of Dragon Ball Gekishin Squadra. No other season has had a thing to do every single week of something new to do, something anticipation-wise. Because even if, let's just say, you didn't buy the newest character, you know, let's just say you didn't buy Beerus when Season 6 dropped. Well, Bulma is not out in the Star Collection, so you still had a new character to play with. Goku Black gets added, well, now Beerus is in the Star Collection. Jiren comes out, even if you don't buy Jiren, Goku Black's down in the Star Collection. So you still had new character releases every 2 weeks, even if you're not buying the absolute newest characters, and there's new stuff to do. Like, even, you know, when Beerus came out, we still had the Bulma Capsule Bonanza. Goku Black comes out, we have Mr. Sage and the Gekishin Cup. Jiren comes out, we have the Squadron Blast for Championships look after the week after. And then we still have stuff like the 40 games for to complete the Squadron Blast for Championships and the 10 million download celebration to look forward to. So there's just so much content to do over this season. And again, I'm recording this before the weekly reset, so there may even be something new at this weekly reset. Again, any content I missed for Season 6, I'll throw that into the Season 7 1-year anniversary review. But there's just so much to do, a lot of positives here, and the only real negative being the meta, where they could hopefully fix this during the 1-year anniversary Season 7. And the thing with the half-year anniversary, the first half of it was not anything special. Kind of just felt like a regular season, but there's just new infinite skins to get more rewards. I think what really saved the half-year anniversary was during the second half when they gave double hero memories. But in terms of just things to do with the fixed battle pass and all the new content and everything, part of me is saying, and I fully agree with it, that Season 6 is the best season of Dragon Ball Gekishin Squadra, which is a great thing. After Season 5, where I would say that was probably one of the worst, if not the worst season, now to have Season 6, where I'm calling it one of the best, if not the best season, I think it's an amazing thing. And hopefully, Dragon Ball Gekishin Squadra can carry this momentum into the Season 1-year anniversary, and we can just keep continuing this high and just bring in truly celebrate Dragon Ball Gekishin Squadra turning 1 year old. Just please nerf Bardock, nerf Bulma, nerf God Goku, and nerf ratting split pushing, please. Like, if you do all those two things but keep this kind of content pace, I think we're truly going to be set for an amazing anniversary and start of Season 7. Before we head out, shout out streamer Cole for the background music. I'll leave a link to the exact video that was in the description. Please show them some love. Thank you guys so much for watching. If you guys get the video, please like, comment, subscribe, be out to be. Stay tapped in the channel, stay up with everything. Season 7 1-year anniversary. All of the potential characters revealed for the Season 7 1-year anniversary, as well as any potential news you know for the game. Thank you guys so much for watching, and I'll see you guys next time. Bye!